Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I am a man that moved from his country, which is in Malawi, and then I arrived in Zimbabwe and I started working at a certain farm in an area that is called Marondera, where I got married to my beautiful wife, and then I moved on and I came here to South Africa. So I have a very big family here in South Africa. I am back with my own full story, as you told me to give you the full story like you asked. My confession is like this, and also remember not to give anyone my number before I tell you. I am practicing as a doctor here in Johannesburg. I am a Sangoma who is from Malawi, and I want to warn other people who would want to buy houses to never buy a house and then you keep the mirror that you find in that house, because it will start to bring negative spirits into your life, because the mirrors on its own, they trap evil spirits. So all of the spirits that would have been trapped in that house when the previous owner will be staying there, those spirits, they will always be in your new house. Whenever you buy a house and then there are mirrors that are left, you need to let go of those mirrors, to throw them away. I know that a lot of ladies, they love big mirrors. I have assisted so many South African families, and the problem is always the wife who said to her husband, let us keep this mirror. I want this mirror. I want it to be put here so that I can look at myself before I go out. I was born in what they call Karonga district back home in Malawi. We stayed right next to this other beautiful river. My grandmother was the Sangoma of the village. She was well known by a lot of people. She used to take good care of us. My father and my mother, when they went into the forest one day, they were attacked by men who took their body parts, and I lost my parents when I was still very young. When I turned 16, my grandmother, she then took me into this other hut where she used to keep all of the things that she used when she was assisting people. And she said that I have a calling and I was supposed to learn, and I was supposed to learn all of the rituals. From that day, I accepted, but to tell you the truth, I was afraid of my own grandmother, for she was someone that was well known all over the land. That night, that was when I was taken by my grandmother, and she summoned the moon to appear. It was on a cloudy night when the ritual was performed, but those clouds, they disappeared after my grandmother had cursed them, and she wanted to perform the ritual under the full moon, and the full moon appeared, and I was given the walking stick, very small one, that I brought with me from Malawi, and I brought with me when I was staying in Zim at the farm where I was working. And later on, I then came to South Africa. When I came to South Africa, I started staying with this other Malawian friend of mine who had told me that there was big business that was booming, because there were Zimbabwean, Zambians, as well as South Africans that were looking for traditional healers. I came here, and within a very short period of time, I was able to buy my own car, and I would regularly go back home. And then I thought of starting my own family. I then found myself getting married to a South African wife, and this was a good investment that I did, to start a family with a South African wife, because now I had access to the community. In the community where she grew up in, everyone, when they heard that she had been married to a Sangoma, a powerful one from Malawi, because she came from the Orange Farm area, and they used to come to me. I would raise more than 20,000 cash from the customers that would come to me. Most of my people that would come looking for help from me, they were people that were working in the mines, and those people, they were paying good money because they were those that were afraid that someone is trying to bewitch them and trying to steal their job. I would make easy money, and my life was really getting better. The day when I started to assist people that would have bought their houses, it was after this other family, 1 week they had moved into their house. So this house, it had been built in the early 1990s. It belonged to a white family. It was a beautiful red brick, 4 rooms, a small yard, and it was so beautiful. When they called me, it was because of the sounds that they used to hear. People talking, sometimes in the ceiling, mainly in the bathroom. They would hear someone that would be busy bathing in the bathroom, and when they would go there, they would find out that there will be water in the bathtub, as if someone has just finished bathing. So that family, it was a family of 5. It was the mother, the father, including the 3 kids. And as for the kids, they could not sleep at all because they kept on having the same dream. There was a woman that will be trapped from within the mirror, a woman that was black, not like a black person, but it was a black spirit. And the day that this spirit came out, then they started to receive a lot of spiritual attacks. I then went to them and I assisted them, but the very first time when I assisted them, I did not know that the mirrors were the ones that were causing everything that was happening. So one day when I was sitting in my shrine, because I have an office in Joburg in town, that was when I had a dream. In my dream, I saw myself, I was walking with 2 white people, and then we went and we bought a mirror, and I started to follow those white people, and we went to this other farm, and at that farm there was a murder that happened, and the blood was on the mirror. Later on, when I woke up, when I was studying the prophecy that had been given to me, that was when I realized what had happened. At that farm, the people that were staying at that farm, the husband and wife, they had fought one day when they were drunk, and the man ended up shooting his wife, and the blood going all over the place, including the mirror. So when the relatives of that family, after the man had been arrested, this did not happen recently. It happened maybe in 1980 or so, because this mirror was then sold to this other family, and then that family ended up moving at the house which that family started staying at, those that were receiving the spiritual attacks. So this mirror, it had the blood of that white woman, so her soul was trapped in that mirror. And then those white people who were the previous owner of the house, which was then bought by my customers, and they were getting all of these spiritual attacks. I studied that prophecy and I saw that this was what had happened. I went there with the charms and I trapped the spirit of that white woman using a clay pot. And after I had trapped her, and when her spirit was inside that clay pot, I then went and I threw the clay pot in a river. It was me and that family. They paid me really well. From that day, that was when I discovered that most of the people, some of the challenges that they are facing, they end up going to a traditional healer looking for help, but they are only treating the symptoms. If you are a person that has bought a house that is already built, you need to make sure that a cleansing ceremony is done at that house. Otherwise, that house will bring spiritual baggage in your life so much that you will start to suffer. Your children will get sick. Your finances will go so bad, so much that you won't even understand what is going on in your life anymore, because each and every house, there are spirits that resides in that house, whether you are a Christian or you are not a Christian. For spirits, they are spirits of those that were once human, and when they go around looking for a place to rest, they can even end up resting in the house of another person. And when that person sells that house, then they will start to feel lonely, or they will feel threatened by the new family, and then they will start to give you spiritual attacks, because that is their own way of saying, get out of my house, get out of my property. Just like what a dog does when you try to enter into the yard of the place where it is staying, it can even try to bite you. A spirit cannot speak or communicate with you, so it ends up communicating with you using spiritual attacks. When a spirit communicates with you using spiritual attacks, sometimes it is not because it wants to hurt you, but it wants you to go out there to look for help from a sangoma like me or other sangomas, and then you will be told that the problem started with the day when you entered into your house without a cleansing ceremony. So this is a warning to other people who bought houses and then they just moved in there. You have to know that when you find mirrors in that house, try to throw them away. Do not say that this mirror is very beautiful, like most of the women. They will say, this mirror, I am going to keep it, for you will be keeping something that contains the negative energies of that house. And when you keep on using it, those negative energies, they will start to affect you. Even when you want to sell your own house, I have assisted other people in this very evil ritual, and I do it because it is money that I want. I have assisted 3 families so far that sold their own houses and moving into new houses. The rituals that I have done for them is the day when they will have finished moving everything, when the house is empty, before the new owners move into the house, I go with them at their property late at night. When we get there, then we will sprinkle some charms and water on the mirror, and then I will start to say, all the bad energy, all the bad spirits, all those spirits that have been living in this house with this family, maybe they are the Ndlovus. I will say, all of those spirits that have been living with the Ndlovus, I do not want you to follow this family where they are going. They are now leaving you. Do not chase after them, for they want to move on with their own lives. So stay here in this house. This property belongs to you. Do not follow them. If there was anything good that you would have done for them, if you want a payment, please state it now. And if you do not want to state it, we are going to give you this sacrifice, this gift, and then I will tell the man or the woman of the house, if she is a single woman, to slaughter the chicken. And after slaughtering the chicken, we then pour the blood on the mirror, and after that we clean the mirror, the walls, to make sure that the blood does not remain, so that the new people will see that there was a ritual that was performed. So be careful always when you want to move into a new house. Know that you are also accepting with the spirits that comes with the house. All that I can say is, it is a good thing for a person when they buy a house where they lay the first brick themselves. It is much easier than that. If you see that you have been going around and round getting help from different traditional healers, but it is not working, think about all the places that you have stayed before. Maybe there might be something that would have happened at one of the places where you stayed, and you picked up negative energies. When you go to a sangoma, let that sangoma try to look in the spiritual realm. If you are not carrying a curse that you took or you collected, not knowing, from a house that had spirits, evil spirits, that was staying in that, That is why you see the old people, they always made sure to strengthen their houses. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our brother who is saying that when you buy a house, you need to be careful because sometimes the old mirrors of that you can find in that house, if you do not take them out, they can keep the negative energies, the spirits that will be staying at that property. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Is there anything bad that happened to you, to your kids, to your family after you bought a new property? You can come to my inbox and then you share with me your own side of the story.